Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Christine. This is an accessible yoga practice for all levels. So please go ahead and come to stand on your mat and just kind of shift a little bit from side to side and feel your feet touching the ground. Just really invite yourself to be fully and completely present for your practice today. And then you might begin to take your feet out a little wider and just begin to sway a little more from side to side. And you might add the arms in, and you might even lift your leg as you press into the opposite leg. So I'm pressing into the left leg and lifting the right leg, pressing into the right leg and reaching right, pressing into the left leg and reaching left. And you don't have to stick with this movement if something else calls out to you, if you want to get a little organic. As you're feeling into your body, feel free to take any postures that are calling out for you. We're going to begin to take those feet out a little wider. And bring your hands to your hips. And again, shift from side to side. And you could have your toes pointing out, your heels pointing in. And just take a moment here at center to take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, bend into your right knee. Kind of sit down and back with your sit bones so that the knee is not extending beyond your toes. Take a couple breaths here, just feeling into your right thigh, your right hip, stretching out the inside of the left. And then we'll shift over to the left side, pressing the hips back, shifting the knee back from the toes. Inhale and bring yourself back to center, then parallel the feet. And we'll shift again into that right hip. And just notice the difference that creates from the difference in the positioning of your feet. Maybe not much of a difference. Maybe you get into just a slightly new place that you want to stretch. And inhale back to center, and then we'll exhale to sit down and back towards the left. Continue to breathe. Use your next inhale to press back up to center. Hands on your hips. Roll your shoulders up and back and down a couple of times. And then let them anchor all the way down, and notice how that kind of lifts your heart. Close your eyes to challenge your balance if you like, and draw the base of your skull up towards the sky. And just notice any shift in your energy. Maybe your heart is beating a little faster, maybe you feel a little warmer. Just noticing with curiosity this part of yourself that is your body. And then we'll heel toe those feet right underneath the hips. Inhale to raise your arms up towards the sky. Maybe look up to see your hands come together and bring them right on down to meet your heart. And you might tilt your chin down towards your chest in respect and reverence for yourself, for your own inner healer, your own inner wisdom and intuition that will guide this practice for you today. And then let's inhale, reach up towards the sky once again, as high as feels good for those shoulders. And then we'll bring the palms together, bend the knees deeply, and come into chair pose, fierce pose. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see I'm sitting down and back. My knees aren't over my toes. My hands are right here at my heart. If you like, you can reach your arms up towards the sky, continuing to breathe here. And then we'll inhale, press into the feet, reach all the way up, turn your palms out, and swan dive all the way down to your mat. Step one foot back, step the other leg back. You might take a strong plank right here. And then we'll set the knees down and come to sit on the heels in hero's pose. If you have a block or a blanket, you might tuck that underneath your hips for a moment. If this is hard on your knees, or take a cross-legged seat. And again, just check in with your energy, check in with your breath. And speaking of the breath, let's go ahead and come into whatever comfortable seat is nice for you. Or I like to sit up on a blanket. It gives my hips and my knees a little bit of space here. You could also sit to a pillow or a yoga block. And rather than being cross-legged, I'm gonna draw one heel in towards the center, and then the other one just kind of in front of that, and make a nice little stable triangle here. And get settled into your seat. Make sure your sit bones feel even and supported. Bring your hands to rest on your lap, on your knees or thighs. And see if you can again draw the base of your skull up towards the sky and find a little bit more length in your spine. We're going to do a little pranayama practice, a breath practice. And so we'll be breathing with an exhale out the mouth 5 times, 5 strong exhales, and then 1 full and complete exhale. Then we'll take a nice big inhale, hold the breath for a count of 5 or as long as is comfortable for you. And then again, exhale completely. So go ahead and join in with me if you like, or you can just watch me do it this first time. So take an inhale to prepare. Exhale completely. Full inhale. Soften the jaw, soften the shoulders, hold for a count of 5. And then exhale completely. And just notice what you notice. You might notice a little shift in your energy as we've changed the biochemistry of our bodies here. So we'll do that 3 more times. Hopefully you get the gist of it. Feel free to jump in whenever you like. Take an inhale to prepare. 5 strong exhales. Exhale completely out the mouth. Hug your rib cage in, hug your belly in. Nice big inhale, fill up the belly, inhaling through the nose. Fill the chest. When you get to the top, hold the breath. Soften the shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then exhale out the nose. Slowly, softly, gently. And invite yourself to be fully relaxed. Just noticing what you notice. You might sense a little more vitality or a little more sense of quietness or stillness in your mind. Let's do that 2 more times. I will not talk during it, so you can really experience the whole process. So here we go. Inhale to prepare. Just be curious about any feelings or sensations that you're experiencing right now, without any judgment, without any sense of competition. And then we'll do that one more time. Inhale together to prepare. Invite yourself to be fully relaxed. Soften your jaw. Soften your forehead and relax your shoulders. Just 1 minute here. Noticing what you notice in your mind, in your body. Noticing that you can witness your body and witness any thoughts that come up in your mind. That you are not your body, that you are not your mind, that you are the witness of those things. That abiding, essential, compassionate. And then let's come to lay on our backs. So if you have a wall nearby, you might like to do this next posture with your legs up the wall. So I'll show this a couple of different ways. If you do have a wall nearby, you could scoot one of your hips up next to the wall. Let yourself come down onto your forearms and then swing your legs up the wall, scooting your hips as close to the wall as you can. And opening up your arms so that your palms can shine up towards the sky. If you don't have a wall available, you can simply lay on your mat, on your back, with your legs up towards the sky. And if you have any yoga blocks or pillow or blanket you like to use, you could press into your feet, lift your hips a bit, and tuck that support right underneath your sacrum, and then lift your legs up towards the sky. Whatever posture you can manage with your setup that you have. Lots of people don't have a blank wall, so this is a great option. And this posture here allows all of the lymph and the blood that accumulates into our feet to come down towards the heart and the abdomen. Unlike our circulatory system, our lymphatic system does not have a pump. And it contains 40% of the water that is in our bodies, and it is for getting all those immune cells around your body for healing. And it also cleans up all the toxins and cellular debris that we have floating around in there. So this posture here is fantastic to support your immune system. It also quiets the mind. This is a beautiful posture for transitioning from work to home or vice versa, or it's especially nice for before you go to bed at night. And we'll just be here for 1 more minute. Feeling this resetting of your lymphatic system. This is also great for anybody who's on their feet a lot. If you have any swelling, edema in your legs or ankles or feet, and you cannot do this posture too many times, and you cannot do it for too long. So feel free to come into this posture whenever you like. In and of itself, it is a fantastic all-around posture for your nervous system as well as your immune system. Let's take 3 more nice full breaths here. And just noticing where you feel the breath expand in your body, and see if you can invite it to be a little deeper into your belly, into your hips and your low back. And then we'll bend the knees and set one foot and then the other back down on the earth. If you've got a support underneath you, go ahead and slide it out. If you're on a wall, flip yourself around so you're back on your mat. We're going to just draw that right knee in towards the heart. You could interlace your fingers across the front of the shin or behind the thigh. You can keep this left leg bent, or you might send the left leg out long. You can keep both legs soft here, or you could flex into your feet and press that left leg down to the mat. So wherever you are today, adjust this posture to fit your body, to fit your current needs. And this is a wonderful reliever for low back pain. It's also really good for our digestion because we're pressing that right thigh to the ascending colon. So it's really great for movement in the elimination system and digestive system. Come back to your breath here. Inhaling down into the low belly. Exhaling, soften your forehead, soften your jaw, relax your shoulders. And you might begin to notice how many beats it takes for you to inhale. And just counting to yourself, you might try to keep your exhale just as long. So a lot of us, when we're stressed out, our inhales are really long and the exhales are really short. But if we can balance it out so that they're even, it's really nourishing for our nervous systems. So you might inhale for a count of 4. And then exhale for a count of 4. One more cycle of breath right here. And then we'll re-bend that left knee, bring the left foot to the ground, set your right foot down, and just take a moment, a few breaths right here to just notice any differences in the 2 sides of your body. Cultivating that art of interoception, the ability to notice what's going on inside yourself. So much of us live in our heads all day that we don't pay very close attention to what's going on in our bodies. This is an opportunity to do that. Take another inhale here, and as you exhale, we're going to draw that right knee, or left knee towards the heart. Interlace your fingers behind your thigh or across your shin. Keep the right leg bent if you like, or send it out nice and long. Keep your feet soft and relaxed, or flex them up towards the sky. Lots of options, lots of variations, lots of different bodies. And just hug that left leg in towards what's now on the left side, the descending colon. So again, we're stimulating the digestive system here, helping to aid elimination. A lot of us eat really, really healthy diets, but we don't healthily digest that food because we don't take the time here to pay attention to those internal organs. Movement like this is not just about the muscles or even the tendons and the ligaments, but it's also about everything that's happening inside. nourishing your heart and lungs, your brain, your stomach, your pancreas, your intestines, the whole deal. See if you can come back to your balanced breath. One more full breath right here. And with your next exhale, set that left foot down, rebend the right. Bring both knees to point up towards the sky and the feet out parallel. And bring your hands to rest on your belly and just notice what's happening inside you now. Just watching. Watching and being curious and gathering information about this part of yourself that is your body. Then we're going to bring the palms down alongside the hips. And we're just going to begin to tilt that pelvis a little bit. So you might press your low back down to the earth, tilting your pelvis towards your heart, and then tilt the pelvis away from the heart. And notice how that kind of lifts up the low back. Just feeling into your pelvis right now. You might stay with this gentle movement, or if you like, the next time you roll that pelvis towards your heart, press into your feet and lift your hips up towards the sky. Bridge posture. We're opening the front of the hip flexors here. You can engage the glutes and the hamstrings to help aid that opening. You can press into your palms, into your triceps, opening up across your collarbones. And maybe stay here, or if you are comfortable with a little bit more opening across the shoulders and in the tissues of the underarms, you can walk your shoulders in underneath you and interlace your fingers and press your hands down to the earth to give yourself a little more leverage. Breathe here, find your balanced breath. The effort here is in the feet, the glutes, the hamstrings. So see if there's anywhere else where you're tightened up or tense that you could soften. Maybe the jaw, the other muscles of the face, the belly. Let's find 3 more breaths wherever you are. And then if you have the bind, release your hands and slowly roll your spine 1 vertebra at a time back down to your mat. We'll just do a little counter posture here, hugging both knees in towards the heart, rocking gently from side to side if that feels good to you. And then we're going to come back to standing again. You could roll to one side or the other, or press yourself up. Or you can hold on to the backs of the thighs and use a little momentum to roll up and down the spine a few times. Now, I understand this is a beautiful little massage for your back body, but it's also really good for your balance in that it moves that inner ear. One more time, wherever you are. Let's go ahead and come to stand. And here we're going to practice another little breathing practice called breath of joy. The breath consists of inhaling 3 times, raising your arms to shoulder height, and then out to the sides, and then up to the sky, and then exhaling down. So with your arm, with your mobility here, you might only be reaching up a short way, or you could have the full expression coming to shoulder height and all the way up to the sky. So if you're keeping it low, just keep it down at waist level. And you could even bend your elbows here. At the end, when we exhale, you could bend the knees and come all the way to a forward fold. If that creates dizziness for you though, you might just want to stay up here in the chair pose we just practiced. We're going to do this several times. When it's time for the last one, I'll let you know. I'd tell you how many times, but I always lose count. So we'll just go with it. It looks like this. Jump in whenever you're ready. So we're inhaling 3 times through the nose as we're moving the arms, and then exhaling out the mouth as we're coming down. Feel free to stop and take a break if you need. Just a few more times here. Last time. And release. You can come all the way to a forward fold if you like, or you can stay standing in your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Again, feeling your feet on the ground. Noticing what you notice, maybe increased heart rate, maybe a little warmer. Breath of joy. And then let's again come down to the earth. Inhale to raise your arms up towards the sky. Bring your palms together. Exhale all the way down, bending your knees, planting your hands, and stepping one foot back and then the other to come into tabletop. Here we're going to do a few rounds of cat and cow. So cat posture, we round the belly, round the back and draw the belly button up towards the spine. In cow posture, we drop the belly, lift the heart and the tailbone. Inhale in your cow posture. Exhale in your cat posture. If you like, in your cow, you can tuck your toes and bend your elbows, draw your heart forward and open up the throat. In your cat posture, untuck the toes and press into all 10 fingers. Really engage that core. Let's find 3 more rounds, moving at your own pace with your breath. And then we'll come back to your strong tabletop posture. Draw the base of the skull away from the tailbone. And then we're just going to come up to high kneeling and step that right foot forward for a nice little lunge. Bring your right hand to the top of your right thigh and then your left hand on top. And just gently pressing down into your right thigh, roll your shoulders back and down and lift your heart. We're providing length now to that descending colon here. We did a little pressure and now we're letting it release. If you have a little more space or you want to create a little more space, you could scooch that front leg forward a little bit and take the lunge a little bit deeper. You can keep the top of the foot on the floor in the back, or you can tuck those toes, whatever feels more stable. Find your balanced breath. And then we'll inhale, reach the arms up as high as you care to. Bring your palms together and bring them all the way down to the earth. Step your right foot back, come up to high kneeling and step the left foot forward. We'll bring the left hand to the top of the thigh, the right hand to the back of the left hand. Find length in your spine and open up across the front of the right hip flexor. This could be enough for you right here, or you might scooch that front foot forward any amount and let those hips sink forward and down. Opening up the ascending colon, releasing the psoas, releasing any tension here, and also really beneficial if you have sciatica or other low back pain. Find your balanced breath. Just a couple more rounds of breath here. And then we'll inhale, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat. Step that left leg back, and we'll come into child's pose. If you've got low back pain, you might want to keep your legs parallel or even tuck your toes under and stay very uplifted here. If you want to get more into the hips, you can untuck your toes, take the knees out as wide as the mat, sink your hips all the way back towards your heels, and maybe stay uplifted here, or you might take your forehead down to a block or to your mat and just soften those forearms down. Find your balanced breath, and again, breathe into the low belly. Notice the hips and the low back also expanding with the breath. Three more breaths right here. And as you're ready, we'll begin to press into the hands, rise up. Any way you want to get there, we're going to come to Shavasana, one of the hardest yoga poses. I've seen people get up at the end of yoga classes right at this time because they feel like they're not doing anything. But we're human beings, so we're just going to be. You might take your pillow or blanket underneath your knees here if you like, especially if you do have low back pain. And then come all the way down to your mat. Kind of press into your heels so you can lengthen the tailbone down. And have your legs out as wide as your mat, whether they're supported or not. Hug your shoulder blades in and tuck your chin for your neck to be nice and long. And then open up your arms, palms shining upward. Take 3 of those nice balanced breaths that you've cultivated today. Slow and deep, nourishing yourself, replenishing yourself, giving yourself permission to rest. And after you've found those 3 intentional balanced breaths, release the practice and let your body take back over, building trust in your body, all its intelligent processes. We'll be in Shavasana for just a couple more minutes. I'm going to press myself up to a seat so that I can read a little something to you here today. And I realize now I left my glasses up front. Pay no attention to the woman behind the curtain as you continue to rest in your Shavasana. This is a poem by Mary Oliver titled Wild Geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese high in the clean blue air are heading home. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Your time allows you to stay in your Shavasana posture. Feel free to do that. But if you are ready to get on with your day, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Rotate your wrists and ankles a few times in each direction. Bend one knee and then the other, rolling onto your side and pressing yourself back up to a seat. I like to finish in Dandasana, staff pose, sitting with my legs extended and balanced through the hips. And you could walk your fingers out to either side to support your beautiful spine. Lift your compassionate heart up towards the sky. And then use your next inhale to raise your arms up as much as you like. Bring your palms together and right on down to meet your heart. The light that is within me honors, reveres, and respects that same light that lives within you. Namaste.